hear? Do you hear it? Yeah. Testing, testing. Hello, hello. We're waiting for one more very important person, and then we'll get going so you can get going. Thank you for giving your Sunday afternoon to Jackie. Yeah. She would be beyond the pale here. She would be jumping for joy. In fact, I'm pretty sure she is. And we know her well enough to know that she has a lot of power, which has just been magnified, hasn't it? Now that she knows all the answers now. I don't know them. So I'm glad with all my heart that you're here. I am thanking Jackie for bringing people like Connie and her husband Dave, people I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm having reunions with people right here in this. So thanks, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. And so I also wanted to say thank you to Unity of Portland for giving Jackie such a stable home. I don't know if you know the story of what happened. It's very fascinating, and Unity of Portland is pivotal in the story of Jackie's transition. And so with that being said, I may touch on that later, but I just also wanted to thank Unity of Portland and the kitty ears. That is, for those of you that weren't here, the whole choir and people all about wore kitten ears in memory of Jackie. And I thought that was just about as fun could be. That's another thing she's jumping for joy over, is that you're being playful, because she could be playful, let me tell you. Lori, the singer, I have to tell this quick story. My son is the marketing director for Broadway Rose, and I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on. I'll blame my glasses that I didn't remember. Leah is oftentimes on stage at Broadway Rose, and she's here with you a lot. So I don't remember the name of it, but the last thing that Leah did, Jackie insisted that I had to go see Leah. And she could insist. And so, of course, I would have gone anyway, honey. But she couldn't say enough about her. And then I told Alan that story, and Alan contacted her, and here she is as a gift to Jackie. Michael here is a gift to Jackie. They are not asking for anything, which is highly unusual. Not by you guys, but by the world in general. So with that being said, I just want to say that Jackie loved it here. She did love it, and she did thrive, and she went through some of the hardest times of her life here. Not anything to do with the church, but her personal life. And so with that, I'm going to ask Reverend Lisa to do an opening prayer for us. And Jackie will be bowing her head and touching her heart like she always does.
Sandra, thank you so much. That's all right, I've got it. And as we gather, one of the things that Jackie, one of the qualities and gifts she gave me was vitality for life. I even looked for a pink boa this morning when I was good, because they said wear bright colors. And I was looking for a pink boa, and I thought, oh, it must still be in Jackie's closet, because she had brought me one before. As we gather this morning, I just invite you to breathe in that same vitality and those ideas, that just love and acceptance. And as we gather, we just say, Infinite Spirit, we gather this morning, this afternoon, to honor and celebrate this spiritual journey of this divine being we know as Jackie. And the continuing on this movement into the infinite essence of love that Jackie is, that she brought and learned and shared and gifted with all of us, and we just hold that soul of light in our heart, in our knowing that truly she came as love, in love, with love, and all of us have been gifted with that love, and we gather today to celebrate that sacred journey, knowing that God, the infinite presence, travels with her every moment of every day. And so it is. Amen.
I also want to mention about Leah that after the play, she came out and saw Jackie, and they had this reunion of a lifetime in a crowd of a theater. and it was so precious, and Jackie, it made her so happy to be honored like that, to have the star of the show give her that attention. So thank you. I wanted to say that there's a song. And you're going to recognize it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we might have changed the order of some of the songs.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that I didn't wear any bright color, but I did sport a red lip and a silky top. So, in the kitty ears, of course. Tell me your story and I'll tell you mine. I'm all ears, take your time, we've got all night. Show me the rivers crossed, the mountains scaled. Show me who made you walk all the way here. Ooh, settle down, put your bags down. Ooh, you're all right now. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family.
Hand me a pen and I'll rewrite the pain. When you're ready, we'll turn the page together. Open a bottle. It's time we celebrate who you are. We're one and the same, yeah. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same things, yeah. You are my chosen family.
I chose you.
You chose me.
I chose
Chosen family.
I chose you.
You chose me. We're all right now. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family. You are my chosen family.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Alan Anderson. I'm Sandra's son. Was that for me or for Sandra? When my husband Ron and I got married at the Unity Church in Lake Oswego, my mother performed the service. Many of you were there. And because Mom needed to hold it together, unlike I'm doing, Jackie was the designated crier for my mom. So I'm just going to own it and simply return the favor and be the designated crier for all of you, okay? You can join me if you will. I had the honor of being given all of Jackie's personal items, her photos, her paperwork, her certificates, clippings, and I poured through them all, and I created a story of her history that I'm going to share with you. Now, squirm a little bit because it's not brief. And as promised. And Leah, that was gorgeous. Michael, thank you. Gorgeous. John Van Dyke, born 1861, and Frida Budeman, born 1864, married and decided early in their marriage to leave Holland and move to America, the land of opportunity. In 1892, Mr. Van Dyke sailed for the United States to make a home for his family in Illinois. Within a year, Mrs. Van Dyke and their 3 children joined him. They lived in Chicago, where their other 8 children were born, one of the youngest being Teresa. Life in a large immigrant family was disciplined in the harsh necessities by the harsh necessities of survival. For Teresa, elementary education quickly led to early employment. Hard work was a way of life. Teresa saw her birth family survive in the new land. She married Robert Mullen in 1937, and on October 25th, 1994, at 9:45 a.m. at Mount Sinai Hospital in Chicago, she gave birth to a daughter. She weighed 8 pounds, 15 3/4 ounces, and was 24 inches long with blue eyes and black hair, which officially turned red by month 4. Teresa dedicated her life to her daughter. She baptized her baby Teresa Roberta. The family called her Roberta. With great affection, Teresa called her daughter Butch, my Butchie. And Butch is known to all of her friends as Jackie. Darkness clouded Teresa and Robert's marriage. And for the well-being of the baby, Teresa and Roberta moved to Arcadia, California, to be near her now widowed mother and some of her siblings. She found employment in the garment industry. Long, hard days at work never prevented her from cooking a good meal in the evening. Roberta was the bright star in her life. Years later, she remarked with satisfaction, I raised a self-reliant daughter, and I'm proud of it. In elementary school, Jackie was a Brownie and a Girl Scout. She attended Arcadia High School, where she was a member of an a cappella choir and the theatrical club, The Jesters, and performed in The Music Man. She attended many of the school dances. Now, in her junior year, she became engaged to Leonard Veit, and they planned to be married August of 1963 after she graduated from high school. However, the engagement ended. She briefly attended Pasadena City College before joining the workforce, first as an insurance credit clerk, then as a clerk typist for Pacific Telephone Company. Jackie did find love again and married U.S. Army serviceman Thomas Roach on May 15, 1965. They resided on the base at Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas, until Thomas was deployed to Okinawa, Japan, Ryukyu Islands. Jackie joined him and lived in Japan from March 1966 through July 1967. She got a job with the United States Army as the civilian secretary to the Special Services Administrator. One of her primary responsibilities was scheduling USO performances at 15 military camps, coordinating all arrangements for the performers, including the theaters, musical scores, scripts, travel, and lodging. Now, marriage to Thomas did not last long. Thomas continued to serve in the Army, and Jackie returned to Arcadia. Once home, she worked in various companies as a clerk and a secretary, including the international CPA Big 8 firm Haskins & Sellers, now Deloitte LLP, in Los Angeles, where she coordinated the Red Cross Bloodmobile for the company's 30-story building and organized annual outings for the female employees at various resorts. In 1972, the firm featured an article on Jackie in its employee newsletter. When asked what her motto was, she replied, "I'm always willing to try anything once." Sailing with the Wind and Sails Sailing Club out of Marina del Rey, water skiing and snow skiing were her favorite outdoor sports. She received her County of Los Angeles and NAUI scuba diving certificate. She was active in the Arcadia Community Theater and performed in Come Blow Your Horn, The Odd Couple, The Drunkard, Little Abner, The Boyfriend, My Fair Lady, and Tea and Sympathy. In addition to being on stage, she enjoyed backstage work, producing and assisting the director. And she also sang with the San Gabriel Choral. Jackie's mother was described as having a generous spirit. Her kindness warmed those around her, and her friends called her mom. Her extended family of adopted children and grandchildren was a happy haven for many. Although Jackie was an only child, she had 10 first cousins and was especially close to the youngest, John Harvey, who she referred to as her brother. Many of her second cousins referred to her as their aunt. Jackie had wanted children. She longed for family connection, and like her mother, was generous of spirit and open to creating her own family, even if unconventional. First step, 4-legged fur babies. Jackie always had cats, and they were well loved. Jackie was drawn to the beauty and peacefulness of the ocean and mountains. In the mid to late 1970s, shortly after a breakup of a boyfriend, the poet, she moved to Big Bear Lake, California, a ski resort 2 hours east of Los Angeles. She purchased a little home she lovingly made her own, a cozy nest, perfect for renewing and sometimes for isolating. While attending a friend's Super Bowl party in 1979, she met Sandra Anderson and family. There's the family. Like Jackie and her mother, the Andersons also believed in chosen families and soon adopted Jackie. The sisterhood between Jackie and Sandra was deep, full of laughter and adventure. Like most siblings, it was not without some rough patches, but they always had each other's support. Jackie, without hesitation, moved into the Anderson home to take care of children Alan and Heather when Sandra's husband Kent was severely ill and hospitalized off the mountain. Jackie called us her heart children. I'm just going to own it. Her heart children. In Big Bear, Jackie attended the Methodist Church and was active with local community theater. She reprised the role that she played in high school in The Music Man, this time sharing the stage with Sandra and Alan. She also participated in backstage work. She worked in property management, as a secretary at Big Bear High School, and a tour coordinator, and at the Big Bear Airport. When a commuter plane would fly into Big Bear, Jackie would be the person on the airwaves that would say, "You're clear for landing." Jackie's biological family continued to grow. She delighted in attending family reunions, weddings, graduations, parties, and welcomed many new children to the family. Although the Andersons moved to Los Angeles in 1986, Jackie and the family bond stayed strong. And when Heather's son was born in 1994, Jackie immediately drove down from Big Bear to hold Kyle and claim him as her own grandnephew. When the Andersons moved to Portland, Oregon in the mid-90s, Jackie was drawn to follow them in 2001. During her first year of transition, Michael Kennedy generously opened up his home to her until she found a little apartment in Northeast Portland, later buying a condo in Southeast Portland. Jackie and Michael always stayed connected. Jackie worked a few jobs, including a property management company and a catering job that brought her gratification. At times, however, she felt disconnected and unworthy, isolating herself in her house to find comfort with her cats while watching old movies. But she practiced self-reflection by attending Unity Church, spiritual retreats, meetings, and journaling. She would go to the coast to recharge, and she learned that in order to connect and feel like she was contributing, she needed to stay active and keep learning, take a class, read a book, go to a show, play cards, or go to the community pool, and reach out to her supportive friends, Sandra and Pamela. Her greatest fulfillment came with dog and cat sitting. Her pet nanny clients raved. Not only did she provide excellent care to the animals, Jackie was known for helping out with gardening and cleaning. House sitting aided in Jackie's restlessness and gave her purpose. Her condo community also gave her a place of belonging. She made several close friends there, including Mary Ann, who's with us today. Aww. And Donna, her 95-year-old neighbor who called Jackie every morning at exactly the same time to check in. She served as the treasurer for the Homeowners Association and hosted a wedding for her young neighbors in her backyard. She found joy in gardening and rescuing feral kittens in the complex, working with the cat adoption team to find them new homes. Jackie's time was also filled with volunteer work, knitting for the Cover Up program, singing in the choir and helping run the weekly bingo at the Unity Church of Portland, and of course, taking care of her cats, Dickens and Sadie. In one of Jackie's journal entries, she described herself as having steadfast humor, joy, compassion, willingness and openness, and the spirit of adventure. Within just the last few years, she enjoyed a helicopter ride, Jeep tour, and horseback ride in Sedona, Arizona, and hot air balloon ride in Newberg, Oregon. She said it was the last adventure on her bucket list. Side note, I asked her to please extend the bucket list before we left the ground. Her life statement was, "I am a courageous and self-respecting woman living in joy and integrity." And Jackie certainly did express joy. No one was a better audience. Her laugh was infectious, her humor unmatched, her style sparkled, her ability to love was deep. Teresa Roberta Jackie passed away peacefully and suddenly September 26, 2024, doing what she loved, dog and cat sitting, helping her friends. She had trimmed the rose bushes and cleaned the refrigerator. Yes, Teresa, you raised a self-reliant, it's the last sentence. You raised a self-reliant daughter, and we are also proud of her. Jackie was seen, appreciated, loved, and respected by her friends, birth family, and chosen family. Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah. If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? No, not fortune or fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal. It's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then for that, I'm so glad I came.
I guess it's my turn to fill that. Alan made me cry. So I'll carry on.
I'm going to pause you just for a second.
He's going to pause me for. Thank you.
This is at my sister's wedding, but it might be more appropriate now.
You guys knew that one. She did that every Halloween up here. She'd have it on the stage. So what I'm going to say at first is this, that Jackie and I went through a period of time together. We've done everything together since I met her in 1976, did you say? 79. And we met at a Super Bowl party. And we had a connection. It just connected. The champagne didn't hurt. And we have been connected, like Alan explained to you. Ever since then, it never changed. And we had our mostly disagreements over driving. One time we were driving to Sedona, where she got to take the helicopter ride, and we'd come through the back roads. Heather had sent us a certain direction, and we pulled into Las Vegas, which is where I live now. And so I think of this all the time. And we pulled in, she was driving, and it's business hour, and there are, this is on the 15 freeway, which is going into LA from Vegas and north of Vegas, Salt Lake City. And she wanted over into the next lane, and nobody would let her in. She stopped. Now let that sink in. Just let it sink in, because the horns are honking. These big trucks are beep, beep, at her, you know. And I'm saying, Jackie, put your foot on the accelerator, please. But she did eventually get over, but that was the kind of thing we'd have fights about. And they would be almost knocked down drag-outs because she thought that maybe I was trying to take away her independence. So today, in honor of Jackie, I'm speaking extemporaneously. I'm looking down because I made a couple of notes for myself to try to stay on track, but we went through a period of time where, like Alan alluded, she would go into her house and just kind of hibernate. And so I would try to get her out of the house, and I said to her one time, I just want you to be extemporaneous. I just want you to be impulsive. I just want you to go have some fun with me. And she did. She got out of the house, and so I thought, well, wouldn't it be more fun if I just talked extemporaneously here at her service? I thought, oh, that'll accomplish something. I'm sure she's rolling over right now thinking that's very funny. And so I just wanted to say that I'm speaking that way out of my heart because it's so full of her. As friends, we don't often realize the amount of importance we have in someone's life. She was important to me. I took care of her when she was sick. I took care of her when she was, and this isn't about me. I'm saying this is what friends do for friends. And what we must continue to do, this falls right in with what Reverend Lisa was talking about today. We do what we do because we love them. I loved her. Most of it is about joy I want to touch on now, because she was that in personification. She started going to Unity World Healing Center in Lake Oswego after she moved up, because I was already there. And so she was going with me. And one day our minister, Reverend Victoria Echemende, said, Jackie is just pure joy. And so that popped into my head, that memory, and I thought, that's what I'm going to focus on, is the joy that she brought to me and to others. And absolutely no doubt about it. She called me her heart sister. Alan read off all the things that she's done, so I won't go into that part of it, but she and I and my husband, we went to Mount Rushmore together, and this I want to share with you, and please don't get up and walk out. At Mount Rushmore, she and I had always wanted to go, and we'd never gone. And so we made this date, and my husband and I drove, and she flew after work, and we picked her up at an airport, and the next day we get to the Mount Rushmore, and we're just standing there, just in awe. And I said, "Hi, fellas." And Jackie said, "That sounds like Hello, Dolly." She breaks into song. And she and I are singing, "Hello, fellas, hello, fellas." Alan had to remind me of the next lines. That's all I could remember. I'm sure Jackie sang the whole thing, but and out to those guys. And so I never see a picture without saying, "Hi, fellas. Hi, fellas." That was a fun story. We did a lot of driving together, and that's why I alluded to the driving thing. I won't say anymore. Then, let me see. Alan touched on, when my husband was very ill in the early 80s, Jackie volunteered. I had 3 teenagers at my home, and Alan and Heather, and we had a foreign exchange daughter named Betty from Chile. And so Jackie called me and said, "Can I come and stay at your house with the kids?" And that lifted so much off of me. I was under so much at that point. And she took care of them, and they were fed probably better than anybody on the planet because she was a good cook. And that helped to even cement it more. She also took over a payment for me for a credit card because I didn't have the money. My husband was, and I had thousands of dollars worth of, he was in the hospital for 3 months, thousands of dollars worth of expenses. And Jackie paid that credit card for me every month. That's what friends do. She taught me that's what friends do. We laughed so hard all the time that sometimes we couldn't look at each other because we would just start laughing. We wouldn't even know what we were laughing at. We'd just sort of start laughing. But one time in my memory, we were laughing so hard at some dumb thing, I don't even remember what it was, we both fell on the floor. We were laughing so hard. We're like, "Stop, stop, stop." And eventually we pulled ourselves together and helped each other up off the floor. But it was that kind of joy. That all sums it up in joy. And finally, I'll say about Jackie is that my daughter, there's a picture down here. There's a couple of things I want to say about the pictures, and then I'll sign off. Heather gave Jackie Blazer tickets one Christmas, wasn't it? And Jackie went to the Blazers. She loved the Blazers. I mean, loved them. You went with her, yeah. And so here's her picture of her at the Blazer game. So please come, when we're done here, please come and look at all this. Alan has done all this, so I want you to enjoy it. And she loved those guys. She probably would still loving them right now, even though they're not very high up on the charts. And so anyway, that is what I am going to say about Jackie. You have each of your own stories. And so is there anything that anyone would like to say? I'll give you the mic. Good. Someone.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Alan, Heather. Thank you for making her your heart sister. My name is Kaja. I'm a member here. Hi, everybody. Jackie was a friend of mine, and I was a friend of hers. She and I came together because of unity. We sang together. We witched together. And we also shared pet nannying services. And when we first found that out, we were so excited. You do it? You do it? You're a pet nanny? Yes. So I said, well, shall we work together? We each said to each other, let's interview one another for the job to see if we're appropriate. So I came with my glasses and my paperwork, and I have a 5-page list of interview questions and she came with 8 pages. I knew she was the one. And she was very persnickety, and she said, if you do this, I don't want you. If you do this, I don't want you. If you do this, I want you. And we had the same shared goals and needs, and you don't do this, and you don't do that, and you do this. And we looked at each other, and we thought, yeah, we're animals under the heart. And I loved being a witch with her. I loved singing with her. She was a confidant. I could gossip with her about stuff, like we love gossiping about animals. And when I was in need of dog care with a very sickly 2 dogs that were under medical care and administration of medicines, certain kinds of food, she was on the phone with me, helping me out, calling me first thing in the morning. How was the night? Not good. Let me tell me all about it. And then this past week, I have another issue coming up with a client, and I said, oh, I'll call Jack. And my heart fell, and I fell apart in the car. And so I said a little blessing. Thank you, Jackie. I'm glad you were my friend. And I miss her, and I still have her phone in my number, in my thing, because I miss her. She was a friend. She was a good person. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Great. I'll come to you.
I feel like I know all of you through Jackie. I loved her so much. I was her hairdresser, and they tell you everything, you know what I mean? She would always say to me, I want red hair, but not like yours. I'm like, don't worry. I can tone it down a little bit. But anyway, Jackie and I also shared cat sitting, and we had so much fun together, but she'd lost so much weight. I have to tell you, we loved to shop together. You know how she loved clothes. And she took me, and she tried on everything, and I said, yes, that's a yes, Jackie. At the end of the day, she goes, you just cost me $500. I said, but you look great. And anyway, we had so much fun. We had just had dinner prior to her passing, and I miss her Wednesdays when I'd come in to volunteer. Her little bright self would be there, and I miss her and her kitties. Dickens would always get on her lap and smell the color. And anyway, we watched old movies and drank iced coffee, and I loved her so much. I still have a little message on my phone with her voice, and I'll keep it forever, but I loved her so much. I'm so glad I got to come today and meet everyone. So she talked so much about you guys. She loved you, her heart, family. So.
And she loved you. She wanted me to have you do my hair. I don't know if that meant she didn't like my hair, or I'm not sure. You know, with Jackie, sometimes you had to read between the lines. I want to share with you while I'm thinking of it. This photo here, this teddy bear bandit strikes again. There's a very fun story with this. She worked for a property management company, and Christmas they would collect teddy bears for children. And she didn't like the way people would put those bears in the box. And so, you know, the collection box. So she'd go get them out and fluff them up again and put them somewhere else. And she did that every day for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks or whatever it was. And they got mad at her. They thought she was stealing the teddy bears. And so my husband, who is an artist, he drew that. So please, I ask you again to come up when you can. So he painted that. That's the original that he did for the Teddy Bear Bandit Strikes Again lady. Yeah, I think that's the one story that I wanted to remember to say. So, anyone else? Oh, good. These are 2 of my closest friends. They come from Unity World Healing Center, and they've known Jackie a long time.
Yeah, I met Jackie through Sandra. I think it was at one of your parties, and Jackie and I just bong connected, and I have loved her ever since. You know, she had that joy and little impishness, and yeah, and we could get in trouble together. And she dog sat my dogs over the years, and I'd come home and she'd washed my kitchen cabinets. I mean, they needed it, but I'd cleaned the rest of the house before she got there. But she cleaned the kitchen cabinets, and I just thought, oh my God. I said, how much do I owe you for that? She goes, it's a gift. It's just a gift. And roll her eyes and bat her eyes. And when I was traveling with Sandra was traveling with us, we were on a road trip back east. And when we got the call that she had died, and I was really glad to be with Sandra at the time, because I love Sandra with all my heart, and I was able to be a support person for her. And I knew that she had cats, and my initial thing was, oh my God, what's going to happen to the cats? And then we got back home, and I remembered a friend of mine from a meeting I go to talking about how she thought it was time for her to get a cat. And so I called and talked to Alan and Heather and figured it out. They figured it out. I gave her the phone number, and she went and visited. So she has Dickens. And by the way, Dickens is delightful and enjoying life. It took a while for him to adjust and feel safe. And but she says, he's such a happy cat. Is it a he or she? She, that's what I thought. I'm sorry. She's a very happy cat. And so Jackie lives on through her kitty in my neighborhood.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm probably the newest person in Jackie's life, moving to the complex. Oh, you're going to give the cries to me. You started it. Actually, I want to thank you for your beautiful music. Actually, that elicited many tears to me. But anyway, being the last person in Jackie's life, I got into her big heart as far as donations are concerned. She always had to come to church here every Wednesday. If she was feeling sick, she still wanted to come. If she was dog or cat sitting, she wanted to get back here in time to do her job because she had to do it. Well, because of that, she brought me in here too. So when you guys had the book fair, I was the person who came and helped her get rid of a lot of those books. She got me to be part of the craft fair at Christmas time. One time when you guys had a bunch of leaves out there, oh, well, we had to come down and we had to rake leaves around the church, you know. And when you talked about her cover-up program, she got involved in this program where women would get together and make items to give to people to cover up, whether it was babies and blankets or booties or hats or lap blankets, whatever. She would make her vigil to get down to this woman's program. They're in Oregon City. But she had to go once a month. She had to do that, and she had to, you know, everything. And so because of her, it instilled this wanting to give more and more to other people. And I got to know Michael and Alan and Heather and Sandra and everybody. So she was a good, oh, and the reason I came up, and I'll get to that, was because of the cats. So actually, I was watching the cats when Jackie passed away because she was on her duty. So anyway, you know, they said, the family, would I help? And of course I'm going to help. I love the cats. Little Dickens, I'm so happy to hear about Little Dickens. I was worried about Little Dickens. The second cat, Sadie Rose, is still living in the complex, and she's thriving. So anyway, her cat family has passed to good people. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
And I did go to the game with her, and let me tell you, I actually took the picture, and it was a hell of an experience.
Amen to that, I'm sure. I'm sure of that. There's just other things that keep popping into my mind, but I'm going to let it rest now. You've heard, the one thing I did want to close with was how instrumental our Beth was in this process. This is amazing. It's an amazing story, Beth, and I hope that you hold it in your heart for the whole rest of your life. Quickly, she was dog sitting, as they've talked about. She was taking out the trash to the, well, I don't know if she was taking it out or bringing it back in, but the big trash things. And she fell. She got up and she went, got the other one, and she fell again. And that time she scraped her arm really badly. I don't know how it looked or anything. As Maureen said, we were back in covering 7 states in the Northeast. But she called paramedics so that they could get the bleeding stopped. And the paramedics said to her, "You need to go to the hospital." And she said, "Oh no, I can't. I'm dog sitting. I can't leave this little old dog." And so they went on their way. Prior to that, no, after the fall, she had called here at the hotel. Whoops, I'm from Vegas, everything you look at is a hotel. She worked here every Wednesday from 11 to 2 or something like that. And so she had called and left a message on Beth's answer machine that said she couldn't come. Well, obviously, that had to have been after she fell. I'm sorry? It was before she fell. Oh. I called her after she had fell. Okay. Yeah, because I really don't know the chronological order. But she left a message on the machine. Beth listened to it, and Beth called her back just to check on her, to show you how being a friend and caring can impact you and your loved ones. So she called and talked to Jackie, and Jackie told her about the falls. We wouldn't have known it. Nobody would have known that Jackie had taken 2 tumbles. And then the pet owners came home a day or 2 later. I'm not sure how long Jackie was there. And they came in, and she was sitting in a living room chair, and they had told me, he had told me, that she looked so peaceful that they didn't disturb her. And they went about emptying their car and getting settled back in home and everything, and they went to wake her to get her payment and let her go home. And of course, he found out she had passed away. I think about those people all the time, the shock that they had to have had to find someone that had worked for them for years and cleaned their refrigerators and took out their garbage and whatever, that she was dead in their living room and they didn't know it. And so I just wanted you to know that, because then he's got her car, he's got her purse, he's got all of her carry-on stuff, her clothes, and they didn't know who to call. So in that message, I encourage you all to make sure you have in your phones ICE, in case of emergency. They're red. Alan and Heather's are red with big red asterisk. And so if something happens to me. But anyway, with that being said, he didn't know who to call. So he was so smart, he got on Jackie's phone and he looked at the last phone number that had called in, and it was Beth. And he called Beth and told her what was going on, and he didn't know what to do. And so she said, well, I'm going to call Sandra. And Maureen and I are back east, and we're flying down some freeway, and I get this call from Beth. I happen to know that Michael is the executor. Michael is like one of her family members, by the way. He's instrumental in taking care of Jackie for the last few years. And so I knew that Alan and Michael were involved in this transition process for Jackie, but of course that was just in a vault. It was just not planning to be used anytime soon, you know? And so when Beth called me, I gave her Alan's number, but I called Alan too, and then he contacted the gentleman. So it's so important for you to know, you've got to keep a line of communication open with your children, with your mothers, you know, whomever something like that could happen to. So anyway, I'm glad I got a chance to share that with you. I'm glad I thought of it. So please look at the Bear Bandit. And before we get adjourned, I'm going to ask my daughter to read something that was in Jackie's, that Alan went through everything of hers and found all of these things. So Heather, can you come and read it? It's called Memorial Poem.
Hi, everybody. Oh, it's here too. There we go. All prepared twice. Okay, just like Jackie had everything prepared twice. All right, it's death is nothing at all. I have only slipped into the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we are to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air or solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Play, smile. Think of me. And remember that I am only in the next room. She was always in the next room, or right next to you.
Yeah, that came out of Jackie's paperwork. And I had a whole bunch of things. She had a stack of little cards, little Unity World Healing things that we do and things we do here. And she'd write these Unity, for those of you that aren't familiar, we believe that words are things. And we believe that there is power in every word that we speak. And so Jackie would gather these words and she would recite them to herself. She'd say them over and over, and I was going to go through them, but this has taken too long for you. So I'm going to give this back to Alan? Oh, to Reverend Lisa, and she's going to do a closing prayer for us.
And I think, were you going to invite people, what is it?
Yes, yeah. Downstairs, we have cake and champagne in honor of that girl. And so I invite, oh, and Alan's reminding me, Jackie had left, she was so organized, and she had left a list of things that she wanted people to have. And I'd given Reverend Lisa something and Beth something that Jackie had said so. And we have a bunch of jewelry here. And we want you to look through it and see if there's anything you might like to have. Or you think that it's something that your next door neighbor would like, or whatever it is. But please come downstairs, A, for the champagne, B, for the cake, and C, for the jewelry, okay? And here's Reverend Lisa now.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you, all of you who've shared. What a gift it is. I wanted to share one thing, and then I'll do a closing prayer. But, Jackie was here working, as everyone said, and one of the times we were getting ready for a celebration of life here, and I was having her copy some things, and she goes, well, I don't want a service when I'm not here. And I just looked at her, and she was smiling in her way, and Jackie liked to tell Beth and I what she didn't agree with that was going on. Just so you know, she was very good at it. And I walked away, and I was getting ready for the service, and I thought, Lisa, just let it go. Everybody gets their own opinion. And finally, I couldn't do that. So I wasn't very good either. And I walked back, and I said, well, Jackie, the service isn't for you. It's for all of us who love you and who want to celebrate you. And so she and I had this discussion over what a service was that was sad and sorrowful, and what a celebration of life was. And we actually even went through the words of The Traveler, which is by James Dillard Freeman. And we went through them and she wanted to, she was looking at what she agreed with and didn't agree with. That was just her way of making sure that the world knew what she believed, and that it went along with that. And finally she said, okay, I get it. But I want to read you The Traveler. And it's been used for probably 50 years in services like this. And that is just simply, Jackie has put on invisibility. Dear Lord, we cannot see, but this we know. Although the road ascends and passes from our sight, that there shall be no night, that you have taken her gently by the hand, and you lead her on, along the road of life that never ends. And she has found it is not death, but dawn. We do not doubt that you are here as there, and you still hold her dear. Our life did not begin with birth. It is not even of the earth. And this that we call death, it is no more than the opening and closing of a door. And in your house, how many rooms must be beyond this one where we rest momently? Dear Lord, we thank you for the faith that frees and the love that knows it cannot lose its own, the love that looking through the shadows sees that you and her and we are ever one. And we just close with the unity prayer, the shortened version, and just knowing, Jackie, the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. And we'll join you downstairs after. Oh, we have another song. Okay. Oh, you're right.
Feel free to sing along
Yes,
with us.
put a little love in your heart. You guys want to stand up and do it, some Jackie dancing? Feel free. Here we go. All right.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by, still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see.
So thank you for being here. One more story. The last time I heard Jackie singing with the choir, and I was visiting, it was a song something like that I recall. And she was pantomiming the whole thing, and she was singing to you guys, you know. I mean, and she'd say, and you. And every time she'd say you, she'd point to somebody. And then she'd say me, and me. And she's up there just pantomiming the whole thing. And I thought, that is what I'm going to remember. You too. Thank you. God bless you all.